I never golfed till I was 41 years old, and I got my index down to 6'7". Then I ran for president. Don't run for president. Don't run for president unless you own a golf course. You can spend half your life there, okay?
That was Joe Biden tonight in Conway, South Carolina, the home of Coastal Carolina University. Go Chanticleers. Joe Biden there. If he looks like he's in a good mood, he may have reason to be, because we've seen a bunch of polls come out in South Carolina in the last day or two. Let me show you what they're pointing to. This is the average of everything we have seen right now. Joe Biden in the average of polls in South Carolina is suddenly up double digits over Bernie Sanders. And why that is so significant, because, sure, a month ago, it would have been no surprise to have Joe Biden up double digits in South Carolina. It was supposed to be his firewall state. But then Biden went and he lost the first three states. He came in fourth place in Iowa. He came in fifth place in New Hampshire with just 8%. And he came in a very, very distant second place in Nevada, basically lost 2-1 to Bernie Sanders out there. And yet, despite all of that, since Nevada, Joe Biden is up 11 points in the average in South Carolina. Sanders basically flat, no other movement. An 11-point gain all of a sudden for the guy who lost the first three contests, who didn't even come close in the first three contests. It looks like something very interesting is happening there in South Carolina. It may be that Nevada victory for Bernie Sanders, it created a new level of focus, a new intensity of focus on the prospect of him being the Democratic nominee, of the questions that have been raised by some of his critics, by the Democratic establishment, you might call it, the questions that have been raised about his electability. Has that given voters in South Carolina sudden pause about Bernie Sanders, and has it sent them towards Joe Biden? By the way, Biden getting that endorsement from Jim Clyburn, that might not have hurt either. But Biden now up double digits in the average in Nevada, an 11-point gain. By the way, one of the polls that came out today, we can show you the breakdown here. The critical question in South Carolina, of course, it is black voters. You see among white voters, Biden leading Sanders. Look at this among African-American voters in one of the polls that came out today. This is from Monmouth. Biden up here at 45%. Sanders not even in second place. Tom Steyer, who, of course, spending a fortune on television ads in South Carolina, he's actually in second place with black voters in this poll. And there's Sanders at 13%, basically losing by 3-1 to Joe Biden. The hope of the Sanders campaign. Remember, about 60% of the electorate in South Carolina we think will be African-American on Saturday. The hope of the Sanders campaign was they could get close to even with Joe Biden among black voters. In Nevada last weekend, there were some black voters out there. The margin in the exit poll was 38-28. Biden got 38. Sanders got 28, 10-point margin. The Sanders campaign was hoping maybe to keep it somewhere around there or tighter. If it's something like this, if it's anything like this on Saturday, you are looking at a Joe Biden landslide. If it's worse than this, you're looking at a really big Joe Biden landslide. By the way, in 2016, the black vote in South Carolina in the Clinton-Sanders primary, it was 86% for Clinton, 14% for Bernie Sanders. That was what he got 4 years ago. And I'm just looking, he got 14% then. He's at 13% with black voters in this poll.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.